Very excited about our first round pick. We've been monitoring him since last year. I know once we found out what type of offensive scheme that we're going to run, a lot of this outside zone and zone scheme, Garrett was the perfect fit for what we were looking for. As we went through the draft meetings over the last 2 or 3 weeks, along listening to the coaches and listening to the traits that they're looking for, this was one of the guys that we had targeted. Because of his natural athletic ability, his strength he plays with. I had an opportunity to see him play live against Wake Forest this fall, and really stood out on the field when I went down there and watched him play. Had a great Senior Bowl, great combine, fits everything from the criteria standpoint, not only positionally and schematically, but also the character, the passion for the game, the smarts, everything that we look for as we build this offensive line. So I'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
Rick, with so many offensive linemen available, were you thinking about possibly moving back, or was he too good to grit?
I think, we had a couple opportunities, a couple calls, but we felt very strongly that this was a unique opportunity to get a very good football player to come into our program.
Was there much consideration at all to taking a tackle, just because sometimes those guys go earlier in the draft than interior guys do?
Yeah, no, we've been through 100 scenarios leading up to tonight, and there are a couple guys that we looked at, but Bradbury was by far our target tonight when we got into the draft.
Do you feel like he's a better center or guard?
He started at guard 2 years ago, and then was a tight end that moved. I think his sophomore year and his last 2 years he has played at center. So I know, just talking with the coaches, we're just trying to get the best football players in here, and then once we get into the OTAs, once we get into training camp, the coaches will figure out what's the best combination. The most important thing right now is getting the best football players we can get in.
With as many positions as he has the capability of playing, how much of that play into effect of maybe some of that position flexibility with some of your current guys that you have?
I think it's very important. One of the point of emphasis that we put on was guys that can play multiple positions, especially up front on the offensive line, because if you do have a guy that does get hurt, you can move guys around and still be very good football players. I know right now, just looking, I know he can play center and guard. I know Pat Elfline can play center and guard, and I know Josh Klein can play center and has also played guard and can also play some center. So position flexibility is definitely a key trait that we're looking for. The one thing I know, he doesn't play corner, so I can go home tonight.
Do you feel any urgency to draft more offensive linemen high in the draft, or do you feel like you're at least covered now?
We'll see how the board. We're pretty true to following our board. I know there's some other needs that we need to fill, but I'll just say we'll stay true to what we see come off over the next 2 days. Good. Thanks.